Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So Tyler Perry has done it again. Yes, Tyler Perry has made a movie. And you would think, with his track record of awful movies and his impact on cinema, he would be like barred from making his own movies. But because he has his own studio and he's friends with Oprah, and for whatever reason, he continues to make movies, the man has found his way to Netflix territory, which is like scraping the barrel when it comes to movies. Because when you make it to Netflix after you have the prestige of like a Tyler Perry and you got the studio, that means that it's pretty bad for you. Hi, my name is IDK Revy, and on my channel, I watch things so you don't have to. Today, I'm going to be talking about Tyler Perry's A Fall for Grace, and I know that was a weird, cold opening, but I'm going to talk a little bit about Tyler Perry. Like, there's nothing to the movie. So you clicked on it for the movie. The movie's terrible. If you want to click off now, you can. But if you wanted to hear me rant about Tyler Perry and just, like, tear him apart, stay tuned for the rest of this video. So let's start off with, like, Tyler Perry. So I made a video previously about Tyler Perry and how he continues to have this hubris about why he can't be like why he can't make connections and why people are ignoring him in Hollywood and why like no one wants to like give him work and stuff like that. So and he just can't understand that. And it's not like it couldn't possibly be that he makes these god awful like coonery and buffoonery type movies and this type of garbage, scraping the barrel with like I would call them C-level black celebrities with one B plus B list celebrity that he can get into his movie. But for the most of the part, he's scraping the barrel with these awful movies. And then he has the nerve sometimes to not even understand why nobody wants to go see him. These are the most cliche, trope-driven, disrespectful, disgraceful, out of touch, and outdated films that anybody could be making. Like, this is stuff that you would expect. I hate to say it like this. No, I'm not even going to say that because I don't want to be controversial. So that he has that problem. Then the fact that he's come out with like an article like earlier this week or last week to say like he doesn't hire writers in his writer's room. He writes everything and directs anything. He has ownership for it. And it's like, you could tell that he doesn't have a writer's room. You can tell that nobody else is helping him out. You can tell that he is the only person that's sitting down and coming up with this god-awful crap. Because if he was working with a team full of people, and he could work with black people, he could work with white people, he could work with a ton of women, he could work with whoever he wants to. But the most person who has brain cells in their head would say, you know, Tyler Perry, I don't think that you should do this type of stuff. I don't think you need to continue to perpetuate the same stereotype about black women who are successful, but because they're successful, that they must be punished because they're successful. And if they don't fall in love with a man, or they make a decision to fall in love with a man who's not a God Christian man, you know, she's going to be just a heathen because it like the fact that he continues to make these types of movies in 2020 is shows like his lack of awareness of all the stuff that's going on in our society. So like he no longer gets the pass for making movies for Christian black women. Like he doesn't get that pass anymore. He needs to hire some writers. Anybody, even amateur writers. You could go to a college and get a bunch of no. I take that back. I can't imagine him being any much better. No, I take that back and I take that one back again. He would do a lot better if he had a lot of college writers, because at least if he has content that was woke, at least it would be more entertaining than the crap that he continues to make with his pretentious and like Bible pounding messages that he has to have. So now that we got Tyler Perry out of the way, what is this movie about? This is why you really clicked on this movie. So the movie stars generic black woman who's in love with generic black man, but because generic black woman has to get a job and she works full time and her generic black love interest is working all the time, she has to go out. So generic black woman works as a lawyer and she has to go defend another person. So when she gets to the jail cell, generic black woman meets generic old black woman who was screwed over by generic black man. And while everything happens with these generic characters and these cliches that are just out here, old generic black woman has to clear her name because old generic black woman was cheated on by young and upcoming generic black man. You know, the same tropes that he always does. Evil black men. You know how Tyler Perry does. You know, can anybody else be bad? So the generic characters in this movie have to figure out, the generic woman has to figure out why old generic woman is in jail and has to find a way to save her. But then there is a twist, and I'm not going to spoil it because I want you to see this with your own eyes. The generic cliche ending and twist that you could see coming from I wouldn't even say a mile away. Like it's not even subtle to it. It's about the most basic, by the books, by the numbers garbage that I've ever seen. Worst movie so far, 2020. I'm already like up there with Dr. Dolittle with Robert Downey Jr. I'm already gonna say these are like the two worst movies of 2020 with The Grudge. Like that's sad. When saying that, it is currently sitting, as of the time of this video, with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes by all the critics that have seen it. So this movie is garbage. Anybody who's going to try to defend this movie is like, well, it was entertaining or something. You are part of the problems because you keep letting this man think that he's providing a service to people, for service to the black community, and he keeps thinking, like, well, I'm telling these stories for like the black community or whatever. No, Tyler Perry, you're not telling stories for the black community. You have this pretentious and hubris movies that you are making to satisfy whatever need that you believe that you're doing in your mind, saying, well, I'm a black filmmaker and I got my own black studio and I can do this, that, and the other. You're not. Stop it. This is coming from IDK Ravi, a small YouTuber. Stop with the crap. And stop with the delusional. Like, stop with the delusion. You seem so ignorant to what's going on. And that is my take on A Fall from Grace and Tyler Perry. I know I was a little harsh on this in this video, and I'll try my best not to be so mean in the future. But if this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, you already know how I feel about Tyler Perry and god-awful movies. So please consider subscribing below. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about this movie. If you even watched it. If you came here because you wanted to know before you watched this movie, I'm glad. But this movie ain't it, Chief. Peace.